Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Is this a certain candidate for the presidency on the line?
Yes,
Yes.
is.
I know that voice. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vermin Supreme, 2020 candidate for the presidency of the United States of America. And, by the way, and this is true, I'm not just saying this to be funny or to be nice, I did vote for you, sir, in the 2016 Democratic primary here in the great state of New Hampshire. So it's wonderful wonderful to speak with you. It's been, I was going to say it's been a long time. It's been about 4 years, actually.
Yes, I am. They say I am like a quadrennial groundhog, popping my head up every 4 years.
Yes, well, it is wonderful to speak with you, sir. The last time, I don't know if you remember, because you do a lot of media around this time, of course, as we
Indeed.
lead up
Yes.
to the First in the Nation primary. But the last time that I interviewed you, I believe it was on a television show that I used to do here in Manchester, and now I do this radio program during the afternoon.
Congratulations on your promotion, Matt.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And
I always said you had a face for radio.
oh no, Vermin! No, that joke is beneath you, sir. Please, I hope you don't.
Of course it is.
I hope you don't say that to
I'm
everyone.
a boomer. Sorry.
By the way, I have, since you brought that up, excuse me, I'm still getting over this cough. I have been very good. I have yet to use the OK Boomer line on anyone. I've been saving it. I've been saving it for the right moment. I have yet to use it, but apparently that is the...
Well, use it up before the moment is lost, I always say.
Yes, yes. Oh,
In fact, we were using it quite heavily the other day. I asked Joe Biden if he would make OK Boomer his running mate.
I heard about that, yes. Oh, Christian Lacoss also joins us here at the news desk. He's very anxious to speak with you. Hello, Christian.
Hi, I finally made it after how long?
Yes, Christian is a young voter. Will this be your first time voting in this election, Christian?
Yep.
So this is your chance to win him over.
Christian. I appreciate your vote in advance.
Yes, yes. Now, you are not running as a Democrat this time, is that correct?
Pardon?
You're not running in the Democratic primary this time, is that correct?
Well, as you know, in the past I have run as both a Democrat and a Republican over the years.
Yes.
But of course, the crux of that matter was I was neither a Republican nor a Democrat when I ran. I was simply using the major parties as a flag of convenience to access their ballot and wreak havoc on their systems. And this year is a very different year for me. I am currently seeking the Libertarian Party nomination. And the difference is that I am, in fact, a libertarian. I identify as such. I do believe that less government does, in fact, equal more freedom.
Yes.
And the Libertarian Party is truly the only party that really meshed very nicely with some of my core principles. I would recommend that anybody check out the Libertarian Party platform, and you very well may find that you agree with more than you disagree with, perhaps. So as a result of my decision to run for the Libertarian Party nomination, I have been traveling across the country, attending different Libertarian Party state conventions. I have been taking part in Libertarian presidential debates and doing my best to convince the Libertarian Party that they should allow me to be their standard bearer based on my theory that through my internet notoriety and real-world notoriety, that I very well may be able to deliver them 5% of the general election vote, which would ensure them ballot access more or less across the nation. Now, of course, there's some very good arguments why I would be a great candidate, and there are, of course, concerns, and I've been doing my best to address those concerns.
Oh, very good.
Of course, a big one I run up against is, can a serious party put up someone who is perceived as a joke candidate and not have them be considered a joke candidate? And I truly believe it is in the framing. I believe they could put forth the proposal that, we are a serious party. We do very serious things. We've been around for a very long time. However, and the pivot is always important in politics.
Yes.
The electoral system for the presidency has risen to the level of a joke. So with love and spite, here's Vermin Supreme. Yes, we are in on the joke. And I think they could tidy that up real nicely. Another concern that has been expressed is about down ballot or down ticket candidates and what a candidacy of a man with a boot on their head might mean to them. And I assure them that I will attract the eyeballs in their direction, and it is up to them to make that pivot. They can say, "Oh yeah, that crazy guy," but let me talk to you about the government, or something of that sort.
Right.
So it's been very interesting. It's a very real campaign. I have a real campaign staff, which is completely new to me.
Excellent.
They all have experience working on various libertarian campaigns. We've been having weekly meetings. We have it's the only campaign that I've ever run. It's real because there is real opposition. Real people are totally dead set against me accomplishing this goal, which is ultimately it's just an offer. It's an offer that I'm putting on the table.
Yes.
Sure I would get something out of it, but I'm just putting the possibility out there and trying to not convince libertarians, but simply to get them to agree with the statement that it is not inconceivable that I could deliver them that which I'm not promising it, but I believe that we could get it. So it's a very interesting campaign for me, and of course it does involve real strategic calculations, and one of those did involve the decision that I will not be on the state-run primary ballot this year, which is very unfortunate because it is indeed where I get almost so much of my publicity. But on the other hand, I am participating in the New Hampshire Libertarian Party primary.
Oh, okay.
Which is a self-funded primary.
Okay.
And only members of the Libertarian Party will receive a mail-in ballot with which to vote.
Oh.
And as a matter of fact, if you or anyone you know has ever considered joining the New Hampshire Libertarian Party, this would be a very good time to do it because I believe that tomorrow is the last day that you can register because they timed it to work along with the New Hampshire primary filing time.
Okay.
In order to become a member. So if you ever want to become a member of the NHLP, you should do it today or tomorrow, and that would enable you to vote for me in the New Hampshire Libertarian Party primary. And I believe it is nhlp.org, I think it is, or something like that. You could Google that stuff up.
Yes.
And dig this, if you are under the age of 26 years old, you can become a member for only $10.
Oh.
So really there's no reason not to join the
$10?
New Hampshire Libertarian Party today, which would allow you to participate in their primary. Now, it will not affect your voter registration.
Okay.
I want to point that out. So you can still vote in one of the party primaries, however you like to strategically do that.
Yes.
Of course, I wanted to run really bad as a Republican this time. But, of course, Mr. Weld being in the race like that, I felt that I could not afford to even chance the possibility that I might get less votes than he. That would be very embarrassing to my libertarian constituency. Because if you remember correctly, Mr. Weld was indeed the vice presidency nominee for the Libertarian Party back in 2016.
That's who I voted for in 2016, actually, Johnson Weld, Hey,
I thought you said you voted for me.
Well, I voted for you in the primary, sir. I voted for you in the Democratic primary.
Fair enough.
Yes, but in the general, I voted for Gary Johnson and Bill Weld, and of course, you don't have the competition of Gary Johnson this time for the Libertarian nomination because I haven't heard anything about him. I haven't really heard anything about any other candidates other than you.
This is news to me that you're running as a Libertarian too.
Yeah.
So
this is exciting.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I've made the decision. I was approached by some Libertarians, and they wanted to know if I was indeed willing to take my campaign to that level. And it is a natural extension of my 30 years of running, and it feels very natural.
30 years.
But, the stakes are much higher. I suppose the payoff could be much higher, but it feels good, and like I say, it's a very different campaign for me because it has very real strategic considerations and a lot of travel. Since I decided to seek the Libertarian Party nomination, my carbon footprint has grown exponentially.
Outstanding, sir. Yes.
I have a few questions.
Oh, yes.
Sir.
This is a young voter you're talking to here, so this is your chance to snag him. Go ahead, Christian.
If you win, are you still promising those free ponies?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I am still promising free ponies. And, of course, many libertarians maintain that there is no such thing as a free pony or free lunch. And, of course, that, to me, is a simple, fundamental misunderstanding of Ponynomics 101. Because what you must understand, of course, people ask me every day, Vermin, is it true that we will be using ponies as actual currency? And I laugh, a little condescending laugh, and say, ha, ha, ha. No, that would be crazy. But the thing to understand about a pony-based economy is that once each and every citizen has their very own pony, once we have universal pony ownership, we, of course, will have equity in the ponies that we own, because that's how it works. If you own something, you have equity in it. And therefore, you should be able to borrow against it. So essentially, we're trying to create a class of pony-based debt in the economy. As you know, debt is like a major factor. It's a major player in the economy. It is essentially a monetary unit in and of itself, although in the negative sense. But, of course, banks run on it. The government obviously runs on it. People buy and sell debt all the time for collection purposes and what have you. So once we've clearly established pony-based debt, then we will bring in the smartest and the brightest Ivy League financial instrument graduates, and they will create all sorts of amazing, opaque, impossible to understand financial tools, or instruments as they like to call them, that will indeed create a bubble in the economy. Now, as you know, bubbles are an amazing, awesome thing to have in your economy, because it means that the economy is firing on all cylinders, everybody's making money, Wall Street's going through the roof, and it's just a wonderful thing. Now, of course, I can hear you say, but don't bubbles burst. Well, that is the most exciting and wonderful thing about this particular pony bubble, is that it will indeed be steel-belted, reinforced, and last forever. Thank you. I'm Vermin Supreme.
That is fantastic. And might I just add, Andrew Yang, of course, who's running as a Democrat, he's got this universal basic income idea where, everybody gets $1,000 a month. But I think the pony proposal, if I may, Mr. Supreme, I think is far more impressive and, dare I say, enticing.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, money will not buy you love.
Right.
But ponies are all about love.
Ponies and bubbles.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm excited.
And interestingly enough, I've had a few encounters with Mr. Yang on the campaign trail up there in New Hampshire. He recently had an appearance at the Electric Avenue Arcade, which is a wonderful arcade, a whole lot of fun. They got skee-ball and vintage pinball machines. And I did, in fact, have the opportunity to query Mr. Yang on what he thought was a more important priority in America today, and I gave him the choice of A, weather domes, or B, the interstate roller coaster. He was a little rushed on his way in, so he had some time to think about it.
Yes.
And by the time we took our selfie, he did come up with an answer, and he did answer that he felt that the interstate roller coaster system was very important. I did give him a copy of my book, iPony, Blueprint for a New America, because I felt that as a presidential candidate, he should have a much greater understanding of what the future holds in store for humans and ponies alike.
Yes.
And I recently saw him again when Biden was signing up. He had a rally out front. He signed up the same day. And Interestingly enough, Mr. Yang has not read my book yet. So,
oh well,
I hope that it will get an opportunity to read it and perhaps review it.
We have a question for you in the Facebook live chat. Michael Alber is asking, how does Vermin propose to feed all these ponies? Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, once again, of course, once the roads are all torn up, we'll have a lot more field opportunity for silage. I believe that it's part of the massive decentralization program. And yes, of course, everybody would. Well, of course, hay stamps is one solution, but not the favored solution.
Sure.
But we believe that everybody will be growing enough pony feed for their very own ponies, with a little bit of luck.
That's exciting. And Jenny is asking in the Facebook live chat, what do you think of the impeachment hearings?
Well, any impeachment is always pretty darn exciting.
It is.
I must say, I remember. The Watergate to times, because I'm an old boomer fellow, as it were, and I must say you get a little thrill from all the excitement, and this one in particular because Mr. Trump is obviously a very cantankerous, cranky old. Can I say bastard? Can I say that?
You kind of mumbled it. I think it's okay. Yeah, we'll let that go.
Okay, well, I mumbled. I guess that's the point.
I'm still going to vote for you.
So I think it's important to understand that if you must elect me first before you will have the opportunity to impeach me. Now, I was there the other day when Mike Pence was filing for Mr. Trump because Mr. Trump is apparently very busy tweeting about the impeachment. Yep. And my claim there was that President Pence is the worst president since Barack Obama.
Oh, my.
And I told him that, of course, because I am from the future, I knew that as a fact.
Oh.
So
that's right. I forgot about the future thing. So you don't think this whole impeachment, you don't think it's just a dog and pony show? You see what I did there? I worked in the pony thing. But
yes. Oh, of course. But what a wonderful dog and pony show it is.
Yes. Did you have another question, Christopher?
Yeah. What do you say to people who think that your campaign is a joke?
Ooh.
Well, it has humorous elements.
Oh yeah,
naturally
for sure.
It does.
Yes.
I respond to these people. I make the claim, at least, that I am a highly respected political satirist, which, of course, is subject to interpretation. I believe the beautiful part about what it is that I do is that any number of different people ascribe different levels of import. Some people feel it is a very important thing that I do for democracy. Others believe that it is utterly meaningless and trivial. But I believe that it has always been a very serious joke. And I believe that my critique of either the nanny state through the mandatory toothbrushing laws, or the police state through the secret dental police, or the give you everything for free wing with the free pony platform, I believe that my critique has generally been genuine and fairly accurate. And now, don't get me wrong, because personally I find that people who take it at face value, who look at me as my character and believe that I'm just some crazy person, I think that's pretty funny.
Yes.
And I think that's almost funnier than people who get the joke.
I mean, because
like I said, yes, it's a joke, but it's a serious joke, and it has allowed me to. Just that simple boot on my head. It's a magical boot. It has allowed me to amplify my First Amendment free speech voice millions of times. It has allowed me to communicate with millions of people and garner media attention from around the globe. And once again, if I was not wearing a magic boot, if I was just wearing a regular suit, if I was ranting and raving on the street, it would not have the same amount of impact. So essentially what I've been working on is this a communication strategy, if you will.
Yes.
And perhaps it's not as crystal clear as some people might like, but it's something that I've found resonates with a large segment of people in the world.
Absolutely.
What size is the boot that you wear on your head? Because I've seen that picture.
It's a big boot.
It's pretty big. That's a pretty big
It's
rain
a big boot. In fact, the size that is on there reads giant. It is a
Wow.
giant-sized boot.
Yes.
It is manufactured by the Tingley Rainwear Company, made in the USA. And they're one of the finest boot hat makers in the nation. Unfortunately, they really make you to buy a pair. You can't buy one at a time.
Right.
I don't understand it. You only have one head. Why would you need two head boots? But I'm willing to go with it. You know.
Well, as president, you could sign an executive order forcing them to create single boots.
That's very true.
Yes.
And perhaps I will. By golly.
I should be in your cabinet with ideas like that. By the way...
Well, I do have a very big cabinet.
Oh.
It has a lot of shelves, a whole bunch of drawers, and I am very certain that we could certainly find a place for you in that cabinet.
Well, that sounds a little... Well, it might be a little tight, but...
Not to be confused with the wardrobe, which is right next to it, which is the interdimensional portal to Narnia.
Wow.
That's top secret, of course.
Right. By the way, you did mention magic. You were talking about the magic of the boot. I saw you, the first time I ever saw you at an event, sir, was during the 2012 campaign. This was the first time I ever met you. You were at an event at St. Anselm College at the Center for Politics, and I got to see you live glitter bomb Randall Terry and turn Randall Terry gay, and that was very exciting.
You were a witness to history.
I was, yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
That was truly a historical moment in American politics, I believe. It changed the course of events for human history.
It truly did. And oddly enough, I haven't seen Randall Terry in public at any event since then, so he might be actually in a closet.
Do yourself a favor and do not Google up his latest music video.
That hadn't even occurred to me. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he's out there. He's flaming, I believe. But yes,
yes,
Mr. Terry.
Yes,
my dear sweet mother, rest her soul. So wanted me to pay for his dry cleaning.
Yes. He took it like a champ, though. You got to give him that.
He sure did. Ultimately, I mean, he was given very few options. I mean, he had his choice of response was very limited.
Yes.
It was either get up and leave, get up and swing, or just sit there.
Yep.
And I think he chose the path of least resistance.
He did, yes.
He's pretty politic. He's pretty savvy.
Yes.
And I think he knew that was probably his best option.
Right. And by the way, we haven't you referenced it, but we haven't talked about the mandatory toothbrushing and all
Yeah,
that.
I want to hear about this. There's a lot of stinky mouth people in this city.
Gingivitis has been eroding the gum line of this great nation of ours for long enough and must be stopped. For too long, this country has been suffering a moral and oral decay, in incisors and in spirit. A country's future depends on its ability to bite back. We can no longer be a nation indentured. Our very salivation is at stake. So won't you join me as we brace ourselves and bite the bullet as we cross the bridgework into the 23rd century? May we become a sea of shining, smiling, shining, smiling, smiling, shiny, shiny, smiling, smiling, shiny, 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 smiling, 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 shiny, 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 shiny faces from sea to shining sea. Now, friends, do not believe these false teeth prophets. This mandatory toothbrushing law is not about the secret dental police breaking down your door at 3 a.m. to make sure that you have brushed. It is not about the dental re-education centers. It is not about the preventative dental maintenance detention facilities. It is not about the government-issued toothpaste containing an addictive yet harmless substance, nor is it even about the DNA gene splicing to create a race of winged monkeys to act as tooth fairy enforcers. Friends, what this mandatory tooth brushing law is really all about is strong teeth for a strong America.
Wow.
Thank you. I'm Vermin Supreme.
That is that deserves a little bit of air
beautiful.
horn.
That was beautiful.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now you have an event coming up tomorrow.
I was just about to
Concord.
ask.
Yes,
I want to go.
You are
to see this
absolutely
man.
correct. I was having so much fun. I forgot that we had all this amazing event tomorrow. You're right about that. And what you are referring to, undoubtedly, is the Guns and Pony Armed Pony Promenade Parade, if you will. But I think that might have specific legal connotations, so we're going to go with stroll
name
or
sounds like
promenade,
it does.
if you will. Yes, we are going to bring our guns and bring our ponies. And tomorrow in Concord at noon during the lunch hour, we will be rambling, walking, if you will, with these ponies and the guns from Area 23, which is a lovely beverage dispensary up there in Concord. Are you familiar with it?
somewhat.
Area 23.
Okay.
It sounds
well,
familiar.
Area 23 is where we will be meeting up right around 11:30, and then at noon or shortly after noon, we will be walking the 1.7 miles to the State House to make some sort of point about our displeasure with having the Libertarian Party not having ballot access or restrictive ballot access laws or something to that effect.
Yes. No, I think that's phenomenal. And are you going to be now? You're not. So I assume you don't have any debates coming up specifically, right? Because you're the only major Libertarian candidate so far.
Well, no, there are right now. If you were to look up at the FEC filing, or there's easy dozen. There's probably closer to 20 candidates at this point, with about a dozen of them that are pretty serious.
Okay.
And yes, they are mounting actual campaigns. Yes, no, it's quite a tight race at this point. I mean, it's like I say, real campaign. I've actually raised close to $18,000 this election cycle so far. That has been spent mostly on travel. That's more than I have. That's probably more than I have spent on every other presidential run combined.
Oh,
quite frankly.
Wow.
So there is that, and and be sure to check out my campaign website, people. It is https://verminsupreme2020.com, and feel free to check out the my merch store because that's the primary financer of this campaign. We're basically based on bumper stickers. That's right.
How much do you bring in off merch? Like, how much of, how much money do you bring in off of it?
Let's see. I would be a rough estimate. I don't pay that close of attention. I would guess easily half of what I just mentioned.
Wow, your merch is doing pretty good,
we've raised. I guess half of it, at least, was from the online contributions. Of course, some of the figures are not totally real in that if somebody orders a T-shirt off of our site, they might pay $20 for the T-shirt, and we in turn might only net $5 or $4 or whatever out of that. But we get to count the whole 20 as a donation.
Okay.
So that's exciting.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
And of course, my idea for a long time has been I'd like to be able to achieve the federal election matching fund threshold, and that is essentially if my campaign is able to raise $5,000 in each of 20 states during this primary period, the Federal Election Commission would match that. And the nice thing about that is it's not taxpayer money. It's not tax money. It's not extortion money. It's not theft money. It was previously a voluntary checkbox on your W-2 form that you were donating a couple bucks to fair presidential elections or some such. And that is the pool that I'm attempting to, or would like to get to. I'd like to dip into that pool, quite frankly.
Yes, yes. Dip into the pool. Very nice. Very nice. Well, Mr. Supreme, it's wonderful to speak with you. You've been generous with your time. Is there, before we let you go, is there anything else that you want to remind us of? I'm sure you'd love to give your web address one more time and perhaps remind people how they can...
Absolutely. We are, don't remember, we are having the Guns and Pony Parade tomorrow at noon from Area 23 to the State House, right up State Street, Main Street there. Of course, my campaign website is verminsupreme2020.com. Of course, those are the numbers 2020, not spelled out.
Yes.
verminsupreme2020.com. And as I had mentioned, if you wish to vote for me in the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire primary, you have until tomorrow to join. And their website is lpnh.org. And you would be certainly doing me a solid because that will give me bragging rights that I'm helping grow the party. And, of course, stacking the deck for people who might vote for me in it. So it's a twofer, and you can help. And once again, if you're under 26 years of age, it's only $10. Do it. And I'm on TikTok.
I was about to ask, are you on TikTok? Because
I saw something about that right before I came on the air, but I didn't have a chance to check it out yet.
I have an idea, too. I have a great idea when you're done talking about this on how to boost your campaign.
Ooh.
Okay. It's at The Real Vermin Supreme, because, of course, some people used my name, and I'm too polite to sue them for it. So The Real Vermin Supreme on TikTok. Vermin Supreme for President is the blue check mark on Facebook. There's also Vermin Supreme's Dank Meme Stash on Facebook, and a whole bunch of other Vermin-based sites. But that, and also at Vermin Supreme on Twitter, and Vermin Supreme for President on Instagram, and God knows where else I am. Once again, this whole thing has got a lot bigger than just me. Let me tell you that.
Yes, yes, even bigger than the boot.
My boot's pretty big too.
A lot bigger than my magic boot.
Right, right. What did you want to say, Christian?
I have an idea. So,
yes.
How do you feel about a charity boxing match to build your campaign here? Or a boxing match?
Me watching? I wouldn't mind watching. I would want to get hit in the head repeatedly if I could help it.
I've been cutting boxing promos on like everybody on this station, and I'm not done yet.
Are you challenging Vermin?
Yes,
Vermin Supreme?
I am challenging Vermin Supreme to a boxing match.
Wow. How about a panty wrestling match? 2 falls out of 3.
That sounds a little more reasonable.
Wait, what? Wait, I didn't catch it. What did he say?
Oh, just agree to it. Yeah, he'll do it.
Panty wrestling? Okay.
All right, it's on. You guys can work.
All right, yeah, the first person who rips the other's panties off is the winner, or something like that.
All right, okay.
All right, you guys can work out the details later as far as where this is going to be, and we'll have to sign some pay-per-view contracts and so forth.
Just like Logan Paul versus KSI.
That's yes. But all right, Vermin Supreme, thank you so much, my friend. This has been wonderful. It's great.
I will make it back up there when I can spend a little time in the studio with you.
Yeah,
I will certainly be up there. I have events coming up closer to the primary mainly, but I've got the offer to do a halftime at a roller derby girl event up there.
That's awesome.
I'm going to do something at the Electric Avenue Arcade and so yeah, it's going to be some wild stuff. Check out verminsupreme2020.com for all the details for whatever the hell I'm doing, wherever I'm doing it.
Excellent. You are welcome here anytime with us, my friend. Thank you so much, and you have my support. Vermin Supreme, Vermin Supreme 2020. All right, sir. We will hopefully talk to you again soon.
Together, we will ride our ponies into a zombie-powered future.
Let's do it.
I love it. Sounds great. All right, thanks, Vermin. Take care.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. All right, that was the great Vermin Supreme.